under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Mosher, nice to see you. Come up, please.
Good evening, everyone. I would expect that most everyone has heard of our water main break over the French Creek Bridge. And without fail, these things always happen on a Friday afternoon or a weekend or a holiday, so we checked all the boxes on this one. It was a Friday the 4th on a holiday. We did have Dustin Orvis on call. We had Terry Jones on duty. So they were able to get water service returned. It was noticed by a boater passing underneath the bridge. The leak was pretty substantial enough for Terry and Dustin to start ripping back the exterior sheathing on the water line. The water line is a 10-inch ductile iron line. It is currently affixed to the south side of the French Creek Bridge. It was installed around 1980. Typically, when we look at the lifespan of these ductile iron features in our water and sewer system, we give them a shelf life of approximately 50 years. So all our fire hydrants are all numbered. We have an asset inventory list that tells us when these are about to reach the end of their scheduled life cycle. This ductile iron line would have fallen underneath that category of a 50-year lifespan. This line is currently around 44 years old, so it failed a little bit sooner than anticipated. And we believe the reason for that is, one, the road salt from the bridge gets shoved onto the water line during the winter months. And over time, that exterior sheathing has deteriorated to allow the salt water to kind of degrade the joints on this ductile iron line. So where the line had failed was on a 45-degree angle where it dumps back down into the earth on the village side. Fortunately, we were able to bypass that water line using both the fire hydrants on either end of the bridge. We had to contact Department of Transportation, do an emergency lane closure to get that water line fixed. So it's temporarily fixed. We've got a high-max coupling on it. We've got a section of 10-inch ductile iron line we plugged into the line, as well as friction fittings and tiebacks. We're comfortable with the repair as is right now. However, we do know that the rest of this line is probably in the same condition. I would encourage us at this time to seek help from VNL to roll this, wrap this part of the project into our current project that we have open right now. The reason why I would like to see that is we already have DOT, Department of Health, other regulatory entities currently reviewing the plans for our water replacement project that we have ongoing right now. And of course, we've got the raw water intake section of the project. So this is essentially two different projects wrapped into one. I would like to include this bridge overpass as a third part to this project. And so we would have to seek additional financing through our current plan with EFC for this current project we have going. I would encourage getting VNL on the ball to develop a plan for replacing this water line as soon as possible. I've talked with our engineering firm, they're in agreement. Spoke with Dave Howard, VNL. He's just ready for someone to pitch him the ball at this point. But I do believe it is important to get this segment of the water line replaced with the rest of it. So in 2018, there was a lot of water lines replaced in the village. Now the question was asked, why wasn't this picked up then in 2018 when we were looking at replacing some of the other water lines in the village? Well, I did some backtracking. I found out that they did pursue that. However, they hit a roadblock once they understood the Department of Transportation that owns that road would require a bypass for that water line. It would become a nightmare. It would become a legal permitting nightmare. It would become very expensive. So they decided at that time in 2018, you know what? It ain't broke. We're not going to worry about it. Here we are, 2025, dealing with the leak. Who's to say how long the repair is going to last? I wouldn't give it more than a couple of years. We're just going to end up band-aiding this thing, working our way backwards, replacing the next weakest link. So as it sits right now, we've got the repair on there. We have to wrap the line and turn in time for winter. This winter, we don't want that line to freeze, obviously. So we're in good standing right now. Department of Health was out here during the ordeal. Department of Transportation was in the know. We did everything above board. We had an emergency management plan we were able to put into work to do the emergency lane closure and get that taken care of the following week after that holiday. So that being said, I was just kind of encouraging a little bit of momentum for B&L's behalf to get this kind of rolled into their ongoing projects. So we can pursue that while the irons are in the coal.
What kind of scope are you talking about?
Pardon?
So the failure was where it went down into the ground, right?
Correct, yes. So there's a 45-degree elbow, and then there's another 45-degree elbow where it ducks down into the ground. So this was the 45-degree elbow just before it ducks back down into the ground. So fortunately, we didn't have to get a boat or a barge to work on this repair. It was on the bank where we were able to work from the river's edge.
So what are you actually talking about? So the line going across the bridge actually is exposed to that kind of situation where it actually goes down, it's exposed to salt, et cetera, et cetera. So if you were to do a project, I mean, are you talking about replacing the whole line, or how far from the bridge approaches?
So I would propose a total replacement across the whole bridge spans where it's exposed out of the earth, you know, the atmosphere exposure segment of that line. So right now it's fixed to the bridge at about sidewalk level. This would be more of an engineering realm of things, but I believe that if they were to replace that ductile iron line out of HDPE plastic, you wouldn't have that corrosion issue. If you were to raise the level of that water main now, as is the sewer line on the other side of the road, if you look, see on the river side of that bridge, our sewer line kind of runs up maybe 2 or 3 feet above the deck of the bridge. The road salt doesn't get on it that way. Our water line is right at board level at the bridge, so all the snow, all the salt gets pushed right on top of it. So with the engineers, we're hoping they'd be able to come up with a better plan to either hang it higher so the road salt doesn't get on it, or detach it from the bridge and have its own bridge, if you will, essentially just for the water line. At one time, the water line crossed the bridge on the river bottom. They explored at replacing it along the river bottom. They determined the substrate, the soils in that weren't advisable to be putting it on the bottom there, so they decided to fix it to the bridge. Now the other option, which I would strongly suggest, is creating its own suspension system not fixed to the bridge, because as it is right now, that ductile iron line, as we were working on it, I had my hand on that line, and every car that crosses that bridge, you could physically feel that pipe vibrating, and of course over 40, 50 years, that's just a matter of time. So either out of plastic, elevating it at a higher level, or detaching it from the bridge altogether would be my suggestions. However, that's why those engineers make more money than me, so they can come up with a good idea.
Well, I was basically looking at how far you were considering replacing.
It would be the whole length of the bridge, the whole span of the bridge. What is that, maybe 80 feet or so?
But the rest of the line after the bridge back to the village
Is new, is plastic. It was replaced in 2018. They just did not replace that section over the bridge.
and then how about on the other side head now?
It's new. They just didn't replace the bridge.
So there's an 80-foot section approximately, that's all.
Correct.
That house 70.
That's exposed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, my pleasure. And the other action item I had on the agenda tonight was we just had a recent application for just a water connection over on Farm Road. So we have an outlying water district outside the village on Farm Road where we run meter pits basically off the water main there, and we meter their water usage that way. So this applicant had to purchase a meter pit from our village, and they had to pay a tap-in fee and the lights. So Terry and I have walked the site a couple times. Everything looks above board there. I would encourage an approval of that.
Could I have a motion for that approval? My second.
Do we need
All
a?
in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Do we need a separate motion for replacing that last pool?
We're not there yet.
Okay.
We'd do that at a later time.
Okay.
It's, Trustee McDowell brought it up, and I've talked to David over the last couple of months. What's going on now with the water lines down John Street?
So I had seen down John Street for the
Yes.
for the Art Center.
Yes.
Currently, Department of Health had issued their comments back to B&L.
Yes.
Now, last I spoke with B&L was last week. They had to re-image or rescale all their blueprints. They had 2 pages of comments that they had to address from Department of Health. So I believe right now B&L is in the midst
In
of
the midst of that.
returning their comments to Department of Health.
And what I understood in reference to that they weren't major comments or major problems. They could easily be taken care of.
Right, some
Now,
of it
they
was
got-
just a logistical headache.
Right.
I know they had to rescale all of their
Do you know
drawings.
if they got the approval, the permit from the DOT?
I am not certain. No,
Because I know they've
haven't
been
called.
waiting on that one also.
Yep, actually, I in fact called Dave Powers today. He must be out. I will get a hold of him this week and get an update on that for you.
Any other questions, comments for Jeff?
Yeah, I don't know if you're the right person to ask this question, but taxpayer asked me about somebody measuring the flow of water coming out of the fire hydrants and flushing. You're the right person to ask that question?
We typically flush hydrants twice a year. We do get, I get requests from contractors to perform flow tests on fire hydrants as it pertains to fire suppression.
Right. This person was certainly interested in that part of it.
And I tell them the same story. Have your engineer work with me and we'll open a fire hydrant for you. We don't have the equipment to measure the gallons per minute that they want it in. We use like a pitot gauge, it's called, and so it's not as accurate as they like it. We don't have the technology that they use for determining those flow meters. So we have always put it right back on the developer, the engineer. You hire your engineer, you take care of that yourself. That's how we've done it in the past. That's not to say we don't have it. We could give them a ballpark, like we have on John Street with our pitot gauge, but it's not anything certifiable or anything that you would want to take to the bank with you. As far as the flow rate goes from the fire hydrants. So we can do it, but we recommend the engineers take care of that for you, especially if it's going into an engineered plan for a fire suppression system. They want to be accurate as possible.
This gentleman was just interested in existing fire hydrants that are in the village. And does anybody ever test those to make sure they're putting out the amount of water that they're supposed to?
We do, annually. Yep, we do, annually. We open up the hydrants. We have a list of hydrants that work, hydrants that don't work. There's hydrants that we know of that you won't get much flow from right now. And those are on the list for replacement with this project. And there's some hydrants that are non-existent where there's dead-end streets where hydrants belong, where there's going to be hydrants added as part of this project. So yes, that is very much so on our mind. We flush hydrants twice a year, in the spring and in the fall.
That's good information to get back to. Thank you.
Yep.
I had one question, and it's just a question, right? So the Washington Street, the Washington Island Bridge, has a sewer line on it. It's polyethylene, I guess, right?
That's
So
correct.
that's not insulated. Is that not a problem?
The sewer water isn't really a problem. That island pretty much closes in the wintertime. You know, we do have some pump stations that are coming from the ground. They're subterranean. They don't really have an issue with that freezing. But the water line is one thing that we want to make sure we keep defrosted. So no, I don't believe that sewer line does have a heat trace on it, but the water line, we have to turn the heat trace on every winter.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Have a nice evening.
You
Thanks.
too.
Any questions in regard to the DPW report?
No, but the crosswalk is great.
Don't they? Yes, the guys are doing a great job with that. Terry said they both caught on very quickly how to operate the equipment, and they've been taking care of it.
Yeah, it sounds like we hired two really good guys.
We did. Yes, absolutely, yes. Any other questions or comments? You see that we got our new loader and the new stake rack. Beautiful pieces of equipment. The stake rack we ordered 2 years ago. And the Lions Field building is down, and then we will be putting in the cement along with some new plumbing fixtures, et cetera, and the new building is to arrive sometime in September. And it's a joint effort between the town and the village to do this, with our help. And the police report. Any questions on that? They said that everything went well during the poker run. So that's a positive. 4th of July, everything went well. Okay. And any questions on the consent agenda, items 1 through 4? Could I have a motion to accept that?
I'll make the motion.
In a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then Joanne, you're up.
Okay, the first resolution is for, to rescind the local law that we do for taxes, gas, state grant, right, tax levy limit. And we didn't need to use it, so we rescind it, and you guys will sign on that. It's a roll call vote, so actually I need, someone to offer the resolution, second.
I'll offer it.
In a second.
Second.
Okay, then the roll call vote is Nancy Hyde, Mayor,
Yes.
Robert McDowell, trustee,
Yes.
Robert Murdock, trustee,
Yes.
Ron Wood, trustee,
Yes.
and then Kenny, trustee.
Yes.
The second resolution is, Nancy talked about this in the last meeting, right?
Yes.
There would be a resolution from Jefferson County Hazard. So, you guys are all okay with that, we need someone to offer this.
I'll offer it.
In a second.
I'll second.
And then roll call vote of, Mayor Hyde,
Yes.
trustee McDowell.
Yes.
Trustee Kenny,
Yes.
trustee Murdock,
Yes.
trustee Wood.
Yes.
And then you have the treasurer's report, or if everything's okay with that, you don't have any questions, or just need a motion that,
Could I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
and that's May and June, because,
I'll make a motion.
In a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. As you all see, I handed you both 2 letters in regard to occupancy tax. We can vote on it tonight, which one you like, or you can take it back, and we can take care of it at the next meeting. Yes. Yes, we can do that, not a problem.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to just sit down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll do it at the next meeting. Okay, fine.
But yeah, we don't need to, can't we just do email, like,
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so you don't need
Yeah,
a
it doesn't
motion.
really need a motion for it. Or do we?
What's that?
The occupancy tax letter.
No, I mean, not if you want to, but if you guys just agree that Nancy can send it out through email or whatever, that's up to you guys.
Yeah, I can,
It's nice to just put it.
how about
in
if I
the
make a
minutes.
motion?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, Nancy can send out a letter and we're after we've had it.
Yeah,
Sense?
yeah.
All right, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. And then the next item is, we're going to be hiring a firm to look at our building and see where the municipal building needs to have some upgrades specifically for energy efficiency. Would someone make that motion?
I'll make a motion that we go with Albertine and Courier for the improvements to the municipal building. With the condition.
With the condition?
With the condition that the scope will include energy
Efficiency and cost savings.
and cost savings.
Do I have a second for that?
Efficiency and cost savings. And cost savings. Potential cost savings.
Okay, got it, thank you.
Could I have a second for that?
I'll
Or
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mike Ashcroft has finished his first class with for coats, and he takes his test on Wednesday. He said a lot of it he felt was common sense, but he's also been in the building industry for years, but he learned quite a bit. And so by the end of November, when the last class, he'll be fully certified in that, which is very good. Yes.
Fully certified in what?
As a certified code officer,
Oh, okay, the end of November?
yes,
Okay. We still have all the classes?
yes, that's correct, yes. The weekends have been full, the docks are full, the streets are full, the parking is full. It appeared that the poker run went very well. Tremendous amount of people in that Friday evening for it, with the party, along with Thursday. This weekend is the antique boat show. Trustee McDowell, do you have anything?
I just wanted to mention I was really appreciative of the fact that, as usual, Bob Cantwell said what he was going to do and did exactly what he said. And the streets were cleaned and emptied and
Yeah.
8 o'clock that night, both was open. So I think that was great. And to get that kind of participation from everybody, that would be wonderful.
Trustee Kenny? Trustee Ritter? Trustee Duper?
No, there's been no applicants this month for zoning.
No, there hasn't.
What? There has been no applications for zoning or planning.
Yes. The French Creek will be going to planning next month in August, whatever, that's the first Thursday of the month. Yes. And as everyone knows, dun 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 dun.
Yeah, there it is.
Very exciting.
Very good.
And Thursday night at the Cerro Park upstairs, there will be a presentation on composting starting at 5 o'clock, if anyone would like to attend.
Bring your compost.
I don't know about that
Yeah.
one.
Don't.
Okay, if there's nothing else to say,
I'll make a
we'll
motion.
make adjourn. Mike will make that motion.
Second.
Any second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.
Enjoy the hot day. These,